We come now to causal arguments, the third kind of inductive inference we'll be studying. The premises of a causal argument provide support for the hypothesis that one event is causally related to another. When we see ripples emanating out on the water, we hypothesize what could have caused them. Something like this. Since there are concentric ripples on the surface of the water, something must have dropped into the water to cause the ripples. As you can see, the hypothesis is stated in the conclusion of a causal argument. It's important to note, however, that causal arguments never entail their hypotheses because it's possible for something else to have been the cause. When discussing cause and effect relationships, we need to understand the context in which the word cause occurs. Cause is often used to describe something that has a specific outcome as a result, as in the following argument. Premise 1, there was a power failure in our region yesterday. Premise 2, many computers in our region crashed yesterday. Conclusion, so yesterday's power failure caused many computers to crash. In this argument, the power failure would be a sufficient cause for computers crashing. That is to say, by itself, the power outage would be sufficient to cause computers to crash. There is also another sense in which we use the word cause, the concept of a necessary cause. The human immunodeficiency virus, or HIV, is a necessary cause for acquired immune deficiency syndrome, AIDS. In other words, AIDS can't occur without HIV being already present. In order to contract AIDS, it's necessary that one first have HIV. But note that HIV isn't a sufficient cause for developing AIDS. Keep in mind that there are people who carry HIV who will never develop AIDS. Let's be more precise about the distinction between necessary and sufficient conditions. If X is a necessary condition for Y, then it's impossible to have Y without X. Take this example. Oxygen is a necessary condition for water, H2O. If oxygen is not present, water can't form. But also, please note that oxygen alone will never produce water, so while it may be a necessary condition for the formation of water, it isn't sufficient all by itself to result in water. You can think of a necessary condition as an essential condition, as in these two examples. Having three sides is necessary, or essential, for being a triangle. Having a valid driver's license is necessary, or essential, for the legal operation of a vehicle in New York State. A sufficient cause or condition, on the other hand, will always, in and of itself, be enough to produce the effect. In other words, if X is a sufficient condition for Y, then if X is present, Y must also be present. Take this example. Being a square is sufficient, all by itself, to have an entity that has four sides. Being born in New York is sufficient, all by itself, for being a person who is born in America. This concludes this segment of a multi-part lecture on induction. Please proceed to the next segment, which is a self-test on necessary and sufficient causes.